So why Mallett? Okay, we developed the Rival series because that's what our competitors sell, folks. We don't want to sell you the Rival series. We developed that because some people go off of price. Okay, now if you want a cheap building, this is what you want to do. But if you want a Mallett strong, best building in the country, you're going to get one of our Mallett buildings, which is the Classic, the Signature, and the Elite. Okay. What is a rival? Rival's going to be 29 gauge metal. Okay, it's going to have 4 on 12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses. All right, not third party inspected. Okay, what does that mean? Well, nobody else in the business is building their own truss. Okay, we have our own truss plant. I invite you here to see it. Come visit us. We'll give you the tour. So our competitors are buying truss from somebody else. Okay, they're buying the truss and they're piecing together your building. Why is that important? That is important because that building is not engineered for the wind load. Okay, why? Well, because unless they have an engineer on staff that can say, okay, I'm buying this truss and I'm going to put it in this building, and now I'm wind loading it, they can't do it, right? So they're going off of the wind load of the truss. So keep that in mind. Common flat truss. So they're going to buy common truss mostly. Some of the time it's going to be whitewood in there in the truss. All right, it's going to be 130-mile-an-hour wind rated, no uplift control. What does that mean? We developed the Mallett cable lock system. Nobody else does that, folks. It is a system that has been proven over 16 hurricanes to help secure that building down. We haven't lost a building. I'm standing in one right now because of that Mallett cable lock system. I'll get into that a little bit later. All right, posts in the dirt. So a rival building most of all of our competitors are just going to put a hole in the ground and put your posts in the earth. Okay, whereas on the Classic you're going to get much more. You're going to get a pad. I'm just talking about the rival building. 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, no ground protection, limited warranty, and most of the time, number two, treated lumber. All right, if it's treated, or number two, untreated lumber. That's the rival series. That is what our competitors do. We built that series because we can build you that building if you're all about price. Okay, and if you are all about price, we'll get you that. All right. But if you want to spend a couple of $1,000s more, okay, and get what we call the Classic building, you're going to get 26 gauge, not 29. You're going to get 5 on 12 roof pitch. Aesthetically looks a whole lot better, and it's going to help with the runoff of that building. Okay. Third party inspected. What does that mean, and why is that important? Because when we build a truss, folks, when we build a truss, we're not just saying what we build is it. We are actually hired a third party to come in and stamp our truss to say to guarantee that we're building. What we're building is what we put on paper and say what we're doing. Okay, that's what that means. And our roofing system, even on the Classic, is 170 mile an hour. Why? Because you got 2x8 truss. You got the Mallett cable lock system, okay, which they don't have here. The Mallett cable lock system is a system of aircraft cable that we tie from post to post, horizontally and vertically and diagonal underneath that slab. The dead weight of that slab is going to hold that down when that wind comes in and blows your roll-up door through, and it will. Okay, it's going to act like a parachute, and without having this Mallett cable lock system in, it can actually pull your posts up out of the ground. We've seen it happen before. Okay, our competitors don't do the Mallett cable lock system. The Classic building comes with it. This is the rival series. This is the Classic. Okay, that's why it's very important you understand this. 2x12 headers acts as the part of the roofing system. We have now found that we can go to 2x10 headers, and that's going to be a good thing. We haven't changed it yet, but it's coming on some of our buildings. Why is that important? It's gonna change the headroom on your eave height of your building on the side. And we can still get that wind load. That's what's important. We're helping the customer out with a problem that we've seen. Not really a problem, but with the heel height part of it. And like I said, we're coming out with that. I'm going to talk about that probably more next week of some changes that we have come out with. Like I said before, and like I always say, we can stop doing what we're doing and we can stay stagnant, folks. But here at Mallett, we're always improving our processes to make the best building in the country, and we've done that. And we have done that. We push our engineers to the limit, and you'll see that our classic building is now going to be 140 miles an hour. Well, I'm going to talk about that more. I'm going to have a whole presentation next week and talk about that more. Okay. Up until this point, it's been 130 mile an hour wind load. What our competitors do, but we're changing that. 4-year workmanship warranty on that. Number one, MCA ground treated lumber. Now, when we talk about number one, MCA ground treated lumber, folks, you know, we push when you hear me say that we push our engineers to calculate stuff to the fullest of ability. When you use number one, when you use the best material, you get a better product. Number one grade lumber is far more stronger than number two grade. So if I use number one grade, I should be getting a better calculation, right? Makes sense to me. We push that, okay? So if we're going to use that, we're going to use that to the best of our ability for you, the customer, and that's what we're doing here. You'll see some changes coming out. Also, that is Kiln-Dried lumber. Most everybody out there is not going to use that. Okay, it's a special process that we actually treat that number one grade wood. We dry it out. We treat it again and dry it out. That's very, very important because that is going to help the screws not push out of that building. When most of our competitors are going to use wet treated lumber, that lumber's got to dry. Okay. It's when it does dry, it actually untorques the screws, and it could cause a problem. Over time, the sun is drying that wood. We already do that process when you buy a Mallett building. Okay. In-house engineering design. We have an in-house engineering firm. You meet Daryl. He comes up here every Monday and talks to you. And look, utilize Daryl. He's up here Monday. If you have questions for him, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, reply to one of these live feeds, and our marketing person will get that question to Daryl. So for on Mondays, he can help answer those questions and be more clear about the stuff that you want to know. Okay, so that's the classic building. You can see right off the bat. I failed to mention the 4,000 PSI concrete, which is 33% stronger than 3,000. That's very, very important. We're going to get into concrete a little bit more. I want to talk to you about concrete because I saw a post. I saw a post talking about rebar, and talking about our buildings may crack because we don't use rebar, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, concrete and foundation, 6-inch, 4,000 psi concrete. 6-inch is 1.5 times stronger than 4-inch, folks. Only on the elite building you can get to 6-inch. Okay, unless you pay on the other buildings to upgrade. Control joints included right now. Concrete pad on every post. We talked about that. Okay, let me take this moment and talk a little bit to you about concrete. They had a post up, and they're talking about, somebody commented that because they don't put rebar in their concrete, wait till it cracks. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, that rebar in concrete will not stop a crack. Okay, the best way for me to describe this to you is this. Rebar is in concrete for when it does crack, it holds the concrete together. Okay, now most of the time, because you're dealing with structural on that's weighted on the concrete. In post frame construction, there's no weight on the ground. All your weight is on the post. So your concrete actually has zero weight on it. Okay. Microfiber is a better crack. How can I say this? You get fewer cracks with microfiber than you will just putting rebar in there. We take the guesswork out because we are putting microfiber in the whole volume of the concrete. Some people, I've seen people just drop rebar in concrete. It's going to go to the ground, okay? Or your wire mat, they call it. That's going to go to the ground. Remember, concrete's going to crack. Microfiber is going to stop a lot of those cracks. You do the research. Go do the research on it, okay? It's proven. We take the guesswork out. It's like this. Microfiber, if you're talking about skin, rebar is like if you get a cut on your skin, rebar is the stitches that holds the cut together. Microfiber is going to harden the skin where it don't crack, okay? Or if it does have a little surface crack, it's not going to go where. Then when you buy the Elite building, you can get control joints because all concrete is going to crack. We're trying to tell it where to crack. Not all the time you're going to tell it where it's going to crack, but we're trying to do our best, and you can go out there in the whole concrete world and look at that. So when I see posts like that, where because they don't put rebar in their concrete, it's going to crack, folks, that's people that are they don't understand construction, and they speak out without fully having an education on what's going on. And what do I mean by that? I will repeat it again. Rebar is only going to help once you have a bad crack. It's going to hold the concrete together, okay? Microfiber is put in to help not crack, prevent cracking, okay? I hate saying that word because you will have some shrinkage crack. All concrete will have shrinkage cracks, okay? It might happen right away. It might happen 2 years down the road, but it's going to happen, okay? But microfiber is a far superior product than just rebar alone. Now, am I saying that rebar it doesn't have its use? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is if you have a lot of weight on your concrete, you might want to put some rebar in there. But when you're talking about post frame, there's no weight on the concrete. It's not necessary. We spend more money on microfiber than we do on rebar because microfiber is taking the guesswork out of what's going in your concrete.